smile of kindness, who makes you feel your breath with nothing to fear. In a moment you join hands with them. Have you ever dreamed of a land of love, with sunshine, rainbows, and whispering rivers? For the sunflowers blossom in every field. We are all the children of this land. Let love in your heart be the word of words and sufferings. Bring peace and hope to us all. Let love in your heart find the meaning of life. Return to where we all come from. Have you ever seen an angel of love, looking at you with a shining smile of kindness, who makes you feel your breath with nothing to fear? In a moment you join hands with them. Have you ever dreamed of a land of love, with sunshine, rainbows, and whispering rivers? For the sunflowers blossom in every field. We are all the children of this land. Let love in your heart be the word of words and sufferings. Bring peace and hope to us all. Let love in your heart find the meaning of life. Return to where we all come from. Let the wisdom guide us to the right path. Let's go forward hand in hand. Let love in your heart be the word of words and sufferings. Bring peace and hope to us all. Let love in your heart find the meaning of life. Return to where we all come from. Let love in your heart be the word of words and sufferings. Bring peace and hope to us all. Let love in your heart find the meaning of life. Return to where we all come
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the online program of A Month of Great Love, organized by Global People Daily News, GPDN, an independent international news media. I'm today's host, Russell. The song we just heard is named Love, and it ties to December's theme of A Month of Great Love. All cultures on the planet teach their people to look after one another and divide what they have with those who are needed. Therefore, we cherish our family and generously share with our neighbors and strangers. and volunteers happen to be the largest group of people on the planet. Volunteerism is about giving, sharing, standing by others, and supporting. It can help the needy have a bright future. Volunteers can be found in our neighborhood or in our nearby surroundings. Today, nearly 2/3 and more volunteer work is done informally between people in their communities, rather than through a formal organization. In addition, when compared to persons who have never volunteered, those who volunteer monthly have a 7% higher chance of being very happy, and those who volunteer every 2 to 4 weeks have a 12% higher chance of being very happy. So, want to be happy or very happy? Or improve your lives? Try that one. Our first guest speaker is from Republic of Cameroon, Abang Ulrich Akwo. He has only been volunteering since 2020, but is already involved in 3 volunteer organizations across the fields of horticulture, education, and health. What are the characteristics of these organizations? What kind of tasks does he perform in these organizations? What else can this group do for people's life? Now let's hear about his colorful volunteer experience.
My name is Abang Ulrich Akwo, Cameroonian by nationality, born in Womb and a native of Agam. Obtained my bachelor's and master's degree at the University of Bamenda. My life as a volunteer began in 2020, 1 year after graduating from the university. Actually, I found myself volunteering for 3 domains. We have the market gardening domain, we have the educational sector and the health sector. And I had 3 organizations in which I set myself into. We have the Vision Health Providers and educational sector. We have the Redemption Higher Institute of Health and Biomedical Sciences, and also an agricultural sector, that is the Bot Garden. That's where we actually learn some stuff on farming and how to grow good crops and the rest. Vision Health Providers was the first non-governmental organization that I got myself into, and in that organization we had some objectives and some missions we had to fulfill. And the first was to promote sustainable health, education and practices for families and communities. We also prioritize sensitizing medical personnel on management of waste, how to properly dispose waste, medical waste. And then we also found priority in assisting old and elderly people by providing them with psychological homes, nursing homes and physiotherapy centers. Actually, at that time at Vision Health, I was actually an online survey questionnaire designer. My work was just to design questionnaires, like when we evaluating the level of awareness of some diseases in that area. In specific areas, I used to generate questionnaires, developing online questionnaires, forms to get to know how people are aware of certain things. So actually at that time, before, we had some activities in which we carried out together, like when we were doing activities on hepatitis B survey, also knowing the prevalence of hepatitis B through medical testing in a whole community. Redemption Higher Institute of Health and Biomedical Sciences is also one of the non-governmental organizations in which I volunteered in. Actually, this organization is an institute which trains medical personnel in the domain of nursing and medical laboratory assistants, and they up to ensure that individuals have quality education, both the privileged and the underprivileged. So in this non-governmental organization, I was privileged to be an associate lecturer, like an assistant lecturer, providing tutor and assistance to students that were preparing for their HND and their end of year examination. So actually I really loved my period or my stay in this institute. Also volunteered at the Bot Garden, where we had a mission to produce organic foods for young generation, and we also advocated for climate change mitigation through sustainable agriculture. Actually, our main objective in this organization was to eradicate poverty through the seeds of gold, through sustainable agriculture and community development. And we also encouraged youth to partake in agriculture in every way, so as to sustain the needs of the family in every way. And it was also an opportunity for me to learn how to be a good gardener in one way or the other. During my period of volunteerism, carried out a lot of activities in this non-governmental organization. We carried out activities in the health sector, where we had to do screening of hepatitis B among the youthful and the active population, and we also did donations supporting the sick, the poor, the privileged, that is validating our method, our mission. And as you can see in the pictures, you see that there was a lot of outreaching, support to the unprivileged, and also support to those that were medically down, supporting them, giving them a hope speech and ensuring them that everything is going to be fine. As you can see in the Bot Garden, we did a lot of planting, harvesting, watering, and a lot of activities were actually carried out during this period of internship that can sustain an individual's life. So an individual's life as a volunteer has really been an amazing journey. As I can say, it has been an amazing journey. Starting from the health sector, the educational sector, we have the opportunity to express our minds and get a lot of connections to people and all those type of things. Working in this non-governmental organization gave us a lot of benefits. We had the benefit of networking. We get to meet people of different caliber, people of different brand, people of different organization, people of different institute, where we get to meet, exchange knowledge, talk, and get opportunities of jobs and the rest. And notwithstanding, we also had advantages of communication and leadership skills. In the educational sector, we learn how to communicate fluently and also to speak boldly in the population. And all of these are benefits of the volunteering activities, because I believe that if this volunteering activity hadn't given us this chance, it wouldn't have been possible for us to get some of these skills. Just like it is said, agriculture is the mother of all activities. So I believe that we also had to volunteer at an agricultural sector. So Bot Garden was actually the best place where we could get agricultural experience. So at Bot Garden, I actually learned how to run a home garden. I also had some benefits of healthy living and how to live healthily with my environment, and also how to understand some kind of climate change problem. So I believe that volunteering in all of these different sectors of life actually has built up my opportunities and my understanding to how life actually goes. Conclusively, we can say volunteerism is a vocation, irrespective of the fact that we work without payment. It's actually a skill building activity. So whatsoever organization you're working in whatsoever domain, just stick to the work. I can only encourage everyone around, every volunteer, that you're actually building your skills in one way or the other. So just focus on the process. I would also like to wish all volunteers around the world, I want to wish you guys a happy Volunteers Day.
As the saying goes, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Apparently, volunteer work is a role of serving people, an effort of caregiving. But those who have experienced it know that the nourishment, fulfillment, and joy gained from volunteering are unmatched by anything else in life. Thank you, Abang Ulrich Akwo, for sharing, and I wish him and his organization all the best. Our next speaker is Dr. Neil Erdogan, an assistant professor in the Mechanical Department, Faculty of Engineering, Suez Canal University, Egypt. She is also a volunteer. She will share the importance and impact of volunteerism on the world from an academic perspective. Now let's hear her sharing.
Hello everyone. It's my pleasure and honor to be invited today to celebrate the International Volunteer Day. I'm invited here today as a volunteer representing my country. So please let me first introduce myself. I'm Dr. Neil Erdogan. My country is Egypt. I'm working as an assistant professor in the Mechanical Department, Faculty of Engineering, Suez Canal University in Egypt. Moreover, I'm also working as an assistant professor and the Quality Assurance Officer for the PhD program in King Abdulaziz University in Saudi Arabia. So I'm so lucky to have two home countries, Egypt and Saudi Arabia. The 5th of December was designated International Volunteer Day by the United Nations 20 years ago. The huge contribution of volunteers is now celebrated worldwide on this day in many ways throughout the world. Volunteers are the lifeblood of our communities, and there is incredible diversity in the community and voluntary sector. Volunteers provide an array of services and activities that are vital to the society. It is vital to the social, economical, environmental, and cultural well-being all over the world. We also recognize that many other people contribute to their family and community life in ways that demonstrate a commitment to their culture, but they may not think of this as volunteering. Volunteering is an essential element of civil society. Our communities depends on rely on the efforts of our volunteers. I have heard people say that if all volunteers went on strike, then society would grind to a halt, and I believe volunteers provide so many vital services to support our communities, both individually and in organizations working on specific issues or with particular population groups, such as young people, old people, or people with disabilities. I have a personal history of community involvement and have worked in the voluntary, government and private sectors in both Egypt and overseas. I believe we can achieve so much more when we all work together. All governments recognize that volunteers are found in wide-ranging spheres as activity. While it is impossible in a short speech such as this to describe the depth and breadth of those activities, they include education, sports, arts and culture, social service, health, human rights, conservation, the environmental and essential emergency service such as civil defense, and that is by no means all. This vital contribution to social development, the economy and the environmental is formally recognized in all governments' policies on volunteering. In acknowledging the unpaid work that people do, I believe my role is to improve our understanding of volunteering as part of the world's way of life. And to promote this, I'll be encouraging my colleagues and government officials to identify innovative ways in which we can support and work with the volunteering sector to achieve many useful outcomes. I also wish to acknowledge the willingness to get involved and commitment of time that all volunteers make, whether this is as a highly trained, specialized volunteer, through a formal ongoing role, an informal contribution of help in times of need, or out of a sense of obligations or duty. Whatever the motivation of each individual volunteer, your contribution is appreciated. So, in the International Volunteer Day, I say thank you on behalf of the world. We pause, take stock, and celebrate the value and vital contribution volunteers make to the vibrancy, diversity, and strength of our communities. I will show you some of my tasks which I did in this manner. Thank you very much.
Yes, the spirit of volunteerism reveals the bright side of humanity. Volunteers work quietly in every corner of the world, and things cannot go so smoothly and so well without their effort. Volunteers' selflessness and effort do make the society and the country more stable and sustainable. So if you have the chance to meet them, please say thank you to them. Thank you all. Joanne Ogle is a volunteer and Qigong practitioner from Florida, USA. She tells us about many of the voluntary activities she and her friends have done. Similarly, she emphasizes the significance of civil servants of integrity. If they do not, injustice will arise, such as the Taijimen case in Taiwan, which has gained international attention. She shared her heartfelt stories with us, but she is unable to attend our program because she has just got back from a trip to Washington, D.C., where she was seeking justice, and she has work to do still. Therefore, a friend will read for her. Before we listen to what she has to say, let us thank the brave and a dedicated lady for her unselfish gift to the world.
My name is Joanne Ogle, and I live in Florida, United States. I like to discuss the topic of selflessness and integrity. Every citizen is endowed with human rights. Therefore, human rights are described as natural rights. All individuals are entitled to certain basic rights, including certain civil liberties and political rights, and everybody has the rights to freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and freedom of belief. In a nation of real democracy, all individuals are equal before law, and no one is above the law. In a country ruled by law, people should be law-abiding citizens, and civil servants in particular. There is a saying that if the upper beam is not straight, the lower ones will go aslant. All civil servants should set a good example to others. Therefore, integrity, conscientiousness are their most important characteristics. Although almost government workers are tough and take their jobs very seriously, many of them are very compassionate and have a heart of gold. My husband worked for the United States Foreign Service of the Department of the State for 33 years. He was trustworthy and loyal to his country, and he made many contributions to both America and Taiwan, where he once served as American consul in Taiwan American Embassy. After he retired, he became a Cub Scout master, training Cub Scouts to be good citizens. My friend Robert Gamble is a pastor who founded an organization named This Child Here. He believes children deserve a life grounded in peace and dignity. He works very hard to raise funds so that he can travel to Ukraine to help young people who run away from home. Most of them take drugs and live in sewers. As I am one of the donors, he told me he used the funds to hire intelligent leaders who are capable of helping these young people. After he found these runaway young people or children, he provides them with food and clothing, and the leaders help training and educate them until they can stand on their feet. I love the poem he wrote. We do not believe in ourselves until someone reveals that deep inside us. Something is valuable, worth listening to, worthy of our touch, sacred to our touch. Once we believe in ourselves, we can risk curiosity, wonder, spontaneous delight, or any experience that reveals the human spirit. We often read stories about police officers who rescue children from abusive parents. During the holiday season, many police officers collect thousands of toys as Christmas presents for children whose parents cannot afford them. We have read how many lives of small children have been saved by police officers who perform CPR. These frontline officers, with love and compassion in their hearts, often risk their lives to save others. They are tough, but not irrational. My neighbor David worked in a hospital for many years. After he retired, he works as a volunteer bus driver whenever he has time, or whenever any school needs him. He sometimes drives students to another city for a football game or a special event. He enjoys it very much. I have been working with Halifax Urban Ministry as a volunteer for 9 years. Halifax Urban Ministry is an organization where it provides homeless people's lodging and food. It is like homeless shelter. I'm now working with Meals and Wheels, an organization where volunteers deliver meals to elderly people's homes and where volunteers work at the kitchen. These volunteer jobs enable me to understand our society better and also help my spiritual growth. In America, we have jury duty system. Jury duty or jury service is serviced as a juror in legal proceeding. When a person is called for jury duty in the United States, that is mandatory, and a person summoned for jury must attend. The obligation is to act as a member of jury in court. Service on a jury is a group of people who make a decision in a legal case. When a jury is needed for the trial, the group of qualified jurors is taken to the courtroom where the trial will take place. After listening to the arguments of two-side lawyers, the jurors make the decision before the judge announces the verdict. Any citizen has a chance to get involved in the judiciary system. This is a nation of real democracy. As a Taijimen Dizi, I practiced Qigong at Taijimen Qigong Academy in Taipei before moving back to America. Overseas Taijimen Dizi have online gatherings once every 2 weeks. As the judiciary and tax bureau systems in Taiwan are a failure, a defendant is often persecuted based on untrue evidence. This is exactly what happens to Taijimen unjust case. As a result, Taijimen's petition right and human rights are not honored. Because of this, Taijimen has been victimized and has been fighting for justice for 25 years. If Taiwan's government and officers had loved the Taiwanese people and if they were civil servants of integrity, Taijimen unjust case would not have happened.
Thank you, Joseph, for sharing so many stories with such warmth before your busy schedule of traveling Washington, D.C. Next time, we hope you will blow your own trumpet and tell us the story. The situation of global pandemic of COVID-19 is still raging, sees no sign of ending. At this critical moment, precautions must be taken. So let's watch the following video of 3 don'ts, 5 do's, and 6 tricks. We hope it can help stop the spread of the epidemic.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, we need to take preventative measures to stop the spread. Here are the 5 do's and 3 don'ts, as well as the 6 tips to help you stay safe and healthy. The 5 do's are: wash your hands, drink more warm water, do more exercise, be happy, and be more careful. The 3 don'ts are: don't lose your temper, don't worry, and don't be anxious. The other 6 tips are: wash your hands frequently, wear a face mask, practice social distancing, stay mentally positive, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and increase your lung capacity with breathing exercises. Make sure you follow these tips to keep yourself and others safe. Together, we can get through this.
Thank you for watching, and wish you all the best, and Happy New Year. See you next time. Bye-bye.